Trust in a pig eating pastor. Never kept the Sabbath, but he looking for the rapture. Studied for myself, had to read through the chapters. I left the Christian church and caught ghosts like ghosts.
All right. Hey, fam, shalom, time, God bless. Shalom. Hey, tonight's class, we're going to jump right into it. It's a kind of a serious topic. A lot of us don't talk about this topic often enough. So I'm going to make it a point to talk about it. Because a lot of us suffer silently because we're afraid to talk about certain things that we've been through. We're afraid to talk about past issues, past relationships, past issues with our moms, with our dads, marriages. Our lives have been broken, and many of us are traumatized due to the issues that we have experienced, and we associate our present day life with things we experienced from our past. So we have to learn to disassociate our past from our present, because we're no longer in our past. We have to learn how to be resilient, how to move forward, and we're going to hit the scripts. We're going to bring solutions to the issues and to the trauma of the drama. All right, watch this. Let's go to Hebrews 2. First script, Hebrews 2, we're going to read verse, verse 17.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 2, verse 17. Wherefore, in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren.
Wherefore, in all things it behooved him. That word behooved, we're not going to skip over that word. It's going into duties or responsibility. So Christ took on the responsibility for his people, something that we as Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, as Israelites, that we lack. We lack the responsibility of ourselves and of our people. So if you don't treat yourself of your affliction and your pain, how can you help the people? So Christ did what? It behooved him, meaning the duty or responsibility of what? Go ahead.
To be made like unto his brethren.
So he said, you know what? My people down there pain and suffering. They're traumatized. They're afflicted. They don't know how to get out of what they're going through. I'm the Son of God, right? Immortal. I have to make myself like a man, flesh and blood. Go down to the earth and help my people because they're clueless. They're traumatized. Read.
That he might be a merciful and faithful high priest.
So you know what that means? In order for Christ to help us and to heal us, he had to first experience us. So many of us, we go through certain things in our life and we don't recognize that your experiences of your trauma is meant to help someone else to go through it. Christ can relate to us because he was us. He is us. He experienced everything that you ever went through. So all your past traumas you've experienced, guess what? Your king been through it. Many of the prophets been through it. We've been through it, right? You'd be surprised at things that we go through as men. The trauma that we experience in our lives, right? Those things are never meant to break you. It's meant to make you. Read that again.
That he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people.
So guess what? If Christ wasn't made human to go through pain and suffering like we went through, he could never understand how to restore us. So you see, a lot of times you see men of Israel, you see they've been in the truth for a while, but we suffer. We're able to help you because we've been through some things. We've been through trauma. We've been through past experience in our lives, right? So if you need help, guess what? You'll be surprised what the men that sit up here go through. The trauma, right? From slavery. Those things from slavery that happened back then, guess what? For many generations, 533 years, those things still affect us now. No one sit down with us and counsel with us about nothing. No one pull us to the side and say, hey, y'all been through slavery. We took y'all through hell. Let us help you. Don't nobody care. So you come into God's house. You come into the sanctuary to become healed. That's what the word of God is for. Watch this. Excuse me. Let's pull up that first. Let's go to that article. You know what? No, that last link I sent. That last link, the very last one that I sent. Let's post that. It's an AI definition. So we're gonna go through 4 different. Um, there's many. There's many things that relate to mental illness, y'all. All right, but we're gonna go through 4 complex ways that it affect us directly as God's chosen people. Right? Let's read it from the top. And we'll skip down. Go ahead.
Complex mental illnesses refer to a group of severe and enduring mental health conditions that are characterized by multiple symptoms, or co-occurring disorders, and significant challenges in daily functioning.
Okay, go down. Go down.
Common examples of complex mental illnesses: schizophrenia, a psychotic disorder characterized by delusions.
Hey, just read the highlighted parts.
All right. Bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Oh, read that definition.
A disorder that develops after experiencing or witnessing a traumatic event, leading to flashbacks, nightmares, and hypervigilance.
Every one of us have experienced that. Read.
Obsessive compulsive disorder,
Uh-huh.
eating disorder.
Many of us are overweight. We don't know how to curb our diet. We comfort eat. Because we're stressed out, broken marriage, broken relationships, things in your life that happen to you. Guess what you do? You eat yourself into oblivion. You're overweight. You're unhealthy. That's a mental disorder. Go ahead.
Dissociative identity disorder.
Go ahead. Let's go down.
Characteristics of complex mental illnesses. Multiple symptoms and co-occurring disorders.
Okay, you know what? All right. So guess what? We're going to discuss. There's 4 different types of mental disorders we want to get into. All right. The 4 types are the first one we have is, hey, let's drop that and go to that first article. Drop that and let's get the first article. Let's get the first article. Because what I want to do is, this is important. I don't want to skip through this. I'm going to take my time with it. We're going to get through it all. Got a lot. We're going to get through it. All right. Let's read that.
Environmental connections. A deeper look into mental illness.
Go ahead.
Mental illnesses produce some of the most challenging health problems faced by society, accounting for vast numbers of hospitalizations, disabilities, resulting in billions in lost productivity and sharply elevated risk for suicide. Scientists have long known that these potentially devastating conditions arise from combinations of genes and environmental factors. Genetic research has produced intriguing biological insights into mental illness, showing that particular gene variations predispose some individuals to conditions such as depression and schizophrenia. Now, thanks to a growing union of epidemiology and molecular biology, the role of the environment in the etiology of mental illness has become more clear. Indeed, E. Fullatori, president of the Treatment Advocacy Center, a nonprofit organization that promotes treatment advances in psychiatry, suggests that mental illnesses increasingly fall into the realm of environmental health.
Environmental health. So there's 4 aspects of it, right? You have the biological factors, which is genetics. So you have biological, you have psychological factors, right? You also have environmental factors, and we're going to get into those 3, right? So we have 3 main roles of a mental illness. I'm going to repeat it again. We have biological factors, which go into genetics, family history. We have psychological factors, which goes into trauma and abuse. And we have the third is environmental and social factors, right? Which goes with environmental conditions that cause psychological issues, as a slavery, right? So let's go to that first video. You know what? Yeah, first video. I got them all labeled.
Where does stigma against Black mental health come from? First, it was the immune hypothesis, where people thought that Black people were immune from mental illness. Where this dude, Dr. John Galt, who was a medical director of an asylum, he said that Black people had less risk of mental illness because they led a less stressful life, because they couldn't vote, couldn't own property, and couldn't buy and sell goods.
Stop. So what they're saying was Black people don't have mental illness because we're not human. That's what they're saying. That's why they never gave us any treatment from slavery, because they said they don't need healing. Because you know what? They know we're God's chosen people. They know who we are. So what do? They traumatize us through slavery, and they don't give us no healing for what we're going through. Right? Hit the video.
However, the census in 1840 claimed to show that the Black people in the North had more mental illness than the enslaved people in the South. Their mental illness was attributed to them escaping slavery and not being able to handle their own freedom.
You see that?
This is how the
They
mental
said
illness
we're
of
mentally
drapetomania was coined.
Pause it. They're saying that we have mental conditions. Black, Latino, Israelite people are crazy because we have too much time on our hands because we're free. We're better under oppression. They're saying we're better when we're stressed. We're better when we're afflicted. We're better when we go through pain and suffering. That's how other nations see us. They see us as targets of trauma and pain and suffering. They enjoy our suffering. They enjoy our pain. They enjoy when they see us die, when they see us afflicted, when they see us gunning each other down, when they see us go through things, it brings them joy. Right? Watch this. Let's play the video.
That enslaved life was so good, only the mentally ill would want to escape it. And throughout the years, medicine has been weaponized against Black people, saying that they're either immune to illness or dangerous if given freedom, often seen as meaningless and disposable.
Pause.
And while this was
So the stigma associated to being an Israelite is that you're crazy, you need medications, and all the things that you've been through, you'll be okay. Just forget about it. And what have we done for many generations? Mother to mother, and son to son, and daughter to daughter, and father to children. We've not dealt with our issues psychologically that we suffer from slavery. And what do? We wink at it. We've been so traumatized to the point to where we think trauma is normal. Slapping my son upside of his head with my fist is normal. Right? Cursing my family members out like dogs is normal. Why? Because the slave masters did to the slaves, and we passed it on for many generations. 533 years, we've been mentally and physically traumatized. And what do? We take those same characteristics and we inflict those upon many other generations. So if you look at our children out in the freaking streets that's traumatized with mental illness, talking to themselves, drugged out, suicidal, on drugs, alcoholism, that's due to trauma. But guess what? God's built sanctuaries all over the world for his people to heal from, and you're going to get that in God's house. You're going to get some of that today. Watch this. Let's drop that video. We're going to hear some scripts, and we'll get back to the videos. All right. So the first thing we're going to deal with is biological factors, genetics, family history. All right? Give me Deuteronomy 28, and we're going to read 28 through 29. So remember, biological factors of mental illness or trauma, it can be increased, right? It's due to brain chemistry imbalances, due to being inherited from your mother, from your father, abnormal structure, right? Abnormalities in brain structures or function can also contribute, right? Those are things that we're born with, conditions, right? Let's read that. Watch this.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee.
God said this condition will be upon us forever until he returns. Right? So this issue of trauma that we deal with is going to be upon us that is not going anywhere. So what do we have to do? We have to learn how to talk about these things so we can bring healing to it. Guess what? Many of our parents died without even talking about the issues they went through, they've experienced. And the children think that it's normal to be like that because the parents never talked about it. The incest, the rape, right? The beatings before you went to bed, right? The drug use you saw growing up, the alcoholism, the fightings, the violence. I've seen it all. I've experienced it all. So when you grow up around things like that and you experience those things, guess what they do? It gives you experience. It teaches you how to handle other people to go through the same experiences. So don't just look at us and think that we're just some men with purple shirts on. You'll be surprised what we've been through. Right? Don't take where you are for granted. This is God's house, and it's meant for you to be healed. It's meant for you to deal with your trauma and not to ignore it. Many of you sisters have mental issues, and you don't talk about it. Hush, hush. I don't want nobody to think. I don't want nobody to see me differently. No, sister. If you don't deal with that, bro. If you don't deal with that, sis, what's gonna happen is it's gonna spill over into your life, and it's gonna become worse and worse and worse. God's house is a place where you deal with your issues. It's not a place where you ignore them. You can't heal. When you go to a psychologist, them either might listen to all your damn business, take all your money, and laugh at you afterwards. You're dealing with God's prophets. You're dealing with God's doctors. And what do? We use the Bible, use God's spirit, right, to bring healing. And some of you just need psychological medications. That's what it is. If you need psych meds, take them. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't feel ashamed if you need medications. Take it. Right? Watch this. Give me Ezekiel 16. The mental conditions of our sisters, the mental conditions of our sons and our daughters is passed down from generations. And we're going to read this, and we're going to examine it, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to find solutions. Watch this. Read that. Verse 44. Yep.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother have psychological issues, so is her daughter.
So think about it. Sisters, those things that you deal with, those psychological issues you deal with, guess what that means? That means that those things you deal with came from your mother. That means the mental trauma those things you experienced growing up in the household with your mom, guess what? Everything you watched your mother do, you learned. Everything, whether it was consciously or subconsciously. Sometimes we don't act out those things 20 years ago into present day. Sometimes things inside of us fester and they grow, and psychologically you've been damaged, but those things don't actually act out until many years later in your adult life, and you wonder, why am I acting like this? Why am I conducting myself like this? Why am I behaving in such an erratic manner? Why can I be normal? And we think trauma is normal. It's not normal to be traumatized. We think it's normal because we've been trained by our enemies to think trauma is normal. Many of us, our thoughts are traumatized, and we wonder, why do I think like this? How come my thoughts were oppressed? Guess what? Those things come from your past experiences, and they come from genetically. But right now, we're going to talk about those things that are biological. They're genetic. Watch this. Keep reading.
Verse 45.
Uh-huh.
Thou art thy mother's daughter.
Thou art thy mother's daughter. You're just like her. Those things you experienced from your mother, now you're treating your children the same way. The same way your mother treated her son, now you're treating your son the same way. How your mother dealt with friends, how she dealt with family members, how she dealt with neighbors, those are learned behaviors. And we grew up to think those things are normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal to think violently about your spouse, or it's not normal to think violently about someone that made you angry, right? It's not normal to just automatically think violence because someone made you angry or pissed you off. That's not normal. But in our minds, what do? We're emotional because trauma has made us emotional because we don't have solutions to why we're so emotional. We don't know why we're like that. Why do I conduct myself like that? Some of these brothers are more emotional than these sisters. Trauma. You don't talk about it. You just hide it and deal with it. Read.
Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband
That
and her children.
hateth her husband and her children. Where do sisters learn that from? You learn that from growing up in a single parent household. And some of you that have two parents in the household, what do you learn? You learn how to be violent. You learn how to be erratic, right? In your speech. You learn how to be lions in the house. You learn how to use drugs and smoke weed. You learn how to use alcohol because that's all you know. That's not normal. Alcoholism is not normal. Growing up in the hood, listening to freaking drive-by shootings every night is not normal. Those things are not. We have normalized trauma. Other nations don't worry about. They don't have to deal with the things that we deal with, because Japanese man, the Chinese people, Caucasian people, they don't traumatize each other in the neighborhood. You know why? They don't have many generations of trauma from slavery than what we have. So the reason why you have drive-by shootings, gang violence, drug addiction, alcoholism is because of the trauma we've experienced from our past. There was no healing from it. And you know what? If you don't get healing from those things you've experienced from your past today, it's going to be the same result. You're going to continue the cycle of destruction if you don't fix yourself and get some help. Watch this. Keep reading.
And thou art the sister of thy sisters, which loathe their husbands and their children. Your mother was an Hittite, and your father an Amorite.
What does that mean? He's making mockery of us. You know why? Because we act like other nations. Right? We act like, we expect other nations to be evil. We expect other nations to hurt each other. You know what? But if you look around in today's society, other nations don't. They're heathens because they're not God's chosen people. But we're heathens because we act like they should be acting by hurting each other. But they don't act like that. They don't have self-hatred towards their neighbor, but we do. Psychologically, we've been damaged. Why? Because it's been passed down genetically. And where did this come from? Sin. A lot of you are still traumatized in your life because guess what? Some of you still haven't let go of the pants. You still secretly order them. Some of you brothers still secretly smoking the freaking vape, smoking the weed, going to the club, watching porn, and you wonder why you haven't been healed in your mental state? Because sin's keeping you traumatized. That's what got us in this condition to begin with. Watch this. Was that all of that?
All of verse 45.
Watch this. Let's go to Exodus 20. 20 and verse 5. We're talking about the biological factors, the genetics, a family history of mental illness. That's what we're talking about. Chemical imbalances that we inherit generationally. Watch this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Unto the third. Read that again in verse 5.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
Thou shalt not go against my commandments. So what he's saying, read.
Nor serve them.
Uh-huh.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children.
Visiting the iniquity, visiting the sin of the fathers upon the children. Now I went there. Watch this. Let's go back to Ezekiel. All right, watch this. What I want. Let's go back to Ezekiel and give me where's it at? 18 and 14.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 18 and verse 14.
Visiting the iniquities of the fathers. We talked about the mothers. Now we're going to talk about the fathers. Read.
Now, lo, if he beget a son, that seeth all his father's sins which he have done.
If you get there's a son that witnessed all his father's sin, what is that? A son witnessing his father beat his mother. A son witnessing his father using drugs. A son witnessing his father overdosing on drugs or being drunk. These things are considered trauma. We've normalized trauma. We wonder why our sons and our daughters cannot heal. It's because our children can't heal if we don't. We pass down genetically through our spirits those things that afflict us or the word of God that heal us. Our children can't change if we don't. That's the key. Read that again.
Now, lo, if he beget a son that seeth all his father's sins.
If you have a son that see, I've seen men in my life do things that I would never repeat. I've seen men destroy women's lives in a way you wouldn't even imagine. I've seen women in my life destroy other women's and these women today, they're still traumatized. They're still dealing with issues and they're afraid to talk about it. When you witness these things, you begin to understand how the condition works and how to bring healing. So when you go through things like trauma, you learn how to be merciful to those people that are traumatized. That's why Christ is able to be merciful to us. Why? As a faithful high priest? Because Christ experienced trauma, so he's able to bring healing to trauma. You can't heal what you don't understand. You can't bring experience to an issue that you've never witnessed or went through. Experience is the best teacher, right? Read that again.
Now, lo, if he beget a son that seeth all his father's sins which he have done, and considereth, and doeth not such like, that have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, have not defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have oppressed any, have not withholden the pledge, neither have spoiled by violence.
So how many of our sisters have seen their mothers have many men come in and out of the house? I know men to this very day was married for many years, right, to their wives, and find out that 4 of the 5 children he had by his wife weren't his. It happens all the time. We counsel with brothers all the time to this very day about the same issue, and guess what? I've experienced things like that in the past many times before. And it's the same cycle of traumatic issues that we deal with, and no one's talking about it. No one talks about the daughters that were raped, not just during slavery. We're talking about during our lifetime. How many of you sisters have witnessed or have been molested or raped, and you still traumatized by it? Some brothers have been touched, and you're traumatized by it, but you don't talk about it. You're quiet. You got to get over that. You got to let it go. You got to heal from it. Watch this. Read that one more time.
Verse 16. Neither have oppressed any, have not withholden the pledge, neither have spoiled by violence, but have given his bread to the hungry, and have covered them naked with a garment, that have taken off his hand from the poor, that have not received usury nor increase, have executed my judgments, have walked in my statutes. He shall not die for the iniquity of his father. He shall surely live.
You won't die for your father's iniquity because you learn to heal from what your father did. Sometimes we don't heal because we don't forgive. When people hurt you, what do hurt people do? I hurt other people. Give me that in Sirach 28. Quick. Verse 1. A lot of you haven't let go of your past issues, and you're still dealing with it. Now, we're still dealing with genetically, right? We're still dealing with some of these things were genetically passed down from one generation to another. But as these things are passed down to you genetically, meaning the curses are passed down from one generation to another, whether it's to the mother, whether it's to the father. What does that mean? What that means is that your learned behavior is passed down to you, but now you have to heal from that by letting it go. Because a lot of us we still think about the things that people did to me in my past. And you wonder why those thoughts still in your mind, because you haven't let the thoughts go. Those thoughts are increasingly taking over your mental state. Those thoughts are traumatizing you day by day. You go back and you think about the past rather than growing from your past. Watch this, read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 28, verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord.
Some of you want to be violent and hurt people to hurt you from your past. If you're still thinking about something that happened 20 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 8 years ago, right? Anytime in your past someone hurt you badly or traumatized you, and you still hurt over it, you know what? They still have power over you. You can't let people from your... But guess what? Some people that hurt you may be dead. You mean a dead man got power over you? A dead woman still got power over you? That makes no sense. So what does that mean? Trauma. In order to heal from trauma, that means you have to let it go. Some of you won't. You wish death and destruction on somebody else because they traumatized you. Well, what did God say again? How you heal from trauma?
He that revengeth shall find vengeance from the Lord. And he will surely keep his sins in remembrance.
So that trauma is still placed upon your own head because you have not yet learned to let it go. Read.
Forgive thy neighbor the hurts that he have done unto thee.
Forgive your neighbor the trauma they did unto you.
So shall the...
So that's what we've learned. We've learned if someone hurt me, I hurt them back. That's what we learned. But when it comes to your neighbor, God said you have to let that issue go. Let it to hell go and get over it. It's the past. It's done. Don't let people from your past, that's not even your life anymore, still have control over you right now. It makes no sense. Read.
So shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest. One man beareth hatred against another.
So guess what? A lot of you are praying right now for God to help you with certain things in your life. And God's not answering. You know why? Because you're still traumatized. You refuse to let it go. How can you pray to God and ask him to heal you or to help you when you're afraid to let go of the things you ask him to heal you from? That's like saying, oh, Lord, you're smoking weed. And you're saying, oh, Lord, while you're hitting the blunt, oh, Lord, please take the weed from me. The hell? You're in the crack pipe, but you say, oh, Lord, please take this from me. And I will do it again tomorrow, Lord, but I need you to heal me from it. No, you're not serious about your healing. Lord, take the porn from me. I'm traumatized by it, but yet you're not ready to let it go. In order to be healed, you have to be ready to let those things go from your past. That's what God is saying. Remember, we went to Hebrews 2 earlier, 16 to 17, 17, I think to 18, where it talked about Christ was made in the form of a man. Why? So we can learn about what trauma was. He experienced trauma. He knew trauma. He lived and breathed trauma. That's why he's able to help us today when we pray unto him, because he already been through it. He understands what it means. He's a faithful high priest because he took the responsibility to suffer so we can be relieved from our suffering. So what do? Some of you brothers and sisters, you're suffering, but you don't consider your suffering is meant to heal someone else's suffering too. Rather than crying and whining about it, how about getting over it? How about letting it go? How about forgiving people that hurt you? When you forgive people that hurt you, you release their power over you. That's what it's saying. All right, watch this. Let's go to the next video. Let's go to video 2. Yes, already finished? Yeah, let's finish it up.
One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from the Lord?
You hold a grudge against someone else from what they did to you, but yet you say, you know what, Lord, forgive me for all the things I did. But them that traumatized me, kill them. Hurt them, Lord, because they hurt me. Well, Christ considered you when you was dead in your sins to die for your sins. But yet your neighbor hurt you, but yet you want God to bring vengeance upon them. It doesn't make sense. That's a double standard. So the same way Christ moves, we have to move. Telling you, a lot of us are still suffering. I know women right now, mothers that are old and gray-headed, 70, 80 years old, that cause trauma to their daughters. I witnessed it, and guess what? To this very day, the daughters rarely talk to their mothers. Maybe call them once every year, once every 2 years. You know why? Because they never talked about the issues that happened between them. We as blacks and Hispanics, we don't talk about our issues. We don't sit down and have family conversations about the things that traumatized us from our past. We don't deal with issues like that. And we wonder why marriages don't work. We wonder why we can't be healed. Was that all of that, officer?
Yes, sir. Verse 3.
All right, watch this. Let's get to that second video. Because I still want to deal with, I'm still dealing with biological. No, I got to move on here surely. Go ahead.
So this is why racism is a mental health issue as well. Racism justifies heinous acts towards a marginalized population, and it's the population that experiences a trauma, therefore experiences the mental health effects of this. So for example, when I go to a grocery store now and I'm looking for an exit plan and I'm watching everything and I'm highly annoyed, highly triggered when I go to a church and I have to look at the size of the church. Do I feel safe in this church? Are there enough exits? But can I climb out of that window? Do I have to strap myself and have a weapon because I have anxiety now? I may also be experiencing some forms of depression and other mental health issues. So when we look at racism, we have to also see it as a mental health issue for those who experience the heinous acts sponsored by that frame of thought.
So why did I go there? Because biologically, through racism, through slavery, genetically, we passed that down from one generation to another. Now watch this. Let's go to, let's deal with psychological. I can't go through it all. Let's deal with psychological. We'll go to psychological factors, right? Trauma and abuse. Experience of trauma and abuse. Neglect, it deals with childhood, adulthood neglect, right? Increase the risk of developing mental health problems. Stress, personality traits, right? So watch this. We're going to deal now with psychological factors. Let's go to Sirach 12. I'm sorry, Sirach 38 and verse 12. Psychological trauma.
The book of Sirach, chapter 38, and verse 12. Then give place to the physician, for the Lord hath created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him. There is a time when in their hands there is good success. For they shall also pray unto the Lord, that he would prosper that, which they give for ease, and remedy to prolong life. He that sitteth before his maker, let him fall into the hand of the physician.
Go ahead.
My son, let tears fall down over the dead, and begin to lament, as if thou hadst suffered great harm thyself.
Some of you have experienced parents dying, children dying, you've experienced siblings dying, and psychologically, you don't know how to deal with that. You're traumatized because the experiences that you had psychologically in your personal life, you're stressed the hell out. You have anxiety. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to cope. Your ability to cope with your present issues psychologically disturbs you. And as a result, it develops mental illness. Right? Read that again.
My son, let tears fall down over the dead, and begin to lament, as if thou hadst suffered great harm thyself. And then cover his body according to the custom, and neglect not his burial. Weep bitterly, and make great moan, and use lamentation as he is worthy. And that a day or two, lest thou be evil spoken of, and then comfort thyself for thy heaviness. For of heaviness cometh death.
For of heaviness, the heaviness of psychological trauma will kill you. Some of you have a lot of health issues and it come from psychological trauma, right? How do I cope with this? How do I deal with it? How do I handle it? And guess what? A lot of your issues from your childhood or your adulthood have increased your mental factors to this very day. Some of you come into the truth and you get worse rather than getting better, because you have not yet allowed the Word of God to bring healing to your mental state, is because you're not practical with your healing. It's the commandments are something that you're supposed to practice, that you're supposed to apply. It's not something you just read like a novel and then you go do whatever you want to do. Your mind have to be like God's mind. And once you do that, God will be able to, you're going to get into that. He'll be able to cure and heal the mental state. Watch this. Keep reading. What verse we at?
Verse 18.
Go ahead.
For of heaviness cometh death, and the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
And the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength. Some of you are depressed. You're clinically depressed, right? You have psychological issues that you deal with. Depression. You don't get up the way you're supposed to get up in the mornings, right? You're always sluggish in your body and your mind, right? You don't exercise. You don't do those things that's necessary to bring forth good mental stability. And as a result, you isolate yourself. You lay in the bed all day. You overeat, right? You have issues with everyone else around you, and you wonder, why am I like this? Because you have developed clinical depression, and as a result, on the inside of yourself, you begin to fold up and you begin to shrivel up on the inside. Guess what? I know all about depression, right? I know all about it. I know what it's like. I can talk about it. Read that again.
For of heaviness cometh death, and the heaviness of the heart breaketh strength.
Heaviness of your heart. Repentance will bring forth a lightheartedness. Heaviness of psychological issues and not dealing with your trauma will bring forth heaviness. God is telling you that stress will kill you, right? It'll bring a lot of other issues in your life that you really don't need. Read.
In affliction also sorrow remaineth.
In affliction, sorrow also remaineth. A lot of you are very sorrowful in your spirits and you can't get over your sorrow because of your psychological factors that you deal with on a daily basis. Family, look, you're not the only one that's been through depression. You're not the only one that's been through trauma. You're not the only one who had issues in your life that you didn't know what to do. Right? I couldn't work for 3 years. Had a traumatizing issue in my life. For 3 years, I couldn't work. But you get the hell over that shit. You get over it. You move on. You learn how to strive and be resilient. That's what you have to learn to do. Resilience is key. And you have to have faith and you have to study on a regular basis. The only thing that kept me rooted in these commandments is me studying on a regular basis. Me being rooted in God's commandments. Me learning that fear of God is greater than my fear of my circumstances. That's what I had to learn. What am I going to fear? My circumstances? Or my emotions? Or am I going to fear my king? And when you learn to fear your king, it'll keep you rooted, keep you grounded. It help you deal with the trauma that you do. It help you to not to shrivel up on the inside. Like you got a piece of foil in your hand and you just shrivel it up. Some of us are shriveled up like that on the inside, like foil, just crumbled. Because psychologically, we don't know how to deal with our issues. We run from it. We hide from it. We don't want to talk about it. Sweep it under the rug. Don't nobody know. God knows. And you pray to him all the time about the things that you need, but yet you won't come to him and talk about the things that you're going through. Read that. Excuse me. Read that.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
In affliction also sorrow remaineth, and a life of the poor is the curse of the heart.
In affliction, sorrow remaineth. And why do some of you refuse to talk about your issues? Because if you talk about it, it's going to make me uncomfortable. You're comfortable in your affliction. You're comfortable in your oppression. You're comfortable in your mental trauma. You stay right where you are. You don't talk about it. You die slowly on the inside without revealing with the things that you're going through. I'm not going to tell nobody because what they going to think about me. Well, guess what? When I went through my issue, guess what? I talked about it. I faced it. If you don't face it, you're never going to get through it. You can't hide from it. God don't deal with cowards. It don't matter how you go through it, it's how you come out of it. That's the problem. Coming out of it is the key. Read, what verse is that?
That was verse 19.
All right.
Verse 20.
All right. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Take no heaviness to heart. Drive it away and remember the last end.
A lot of you go through your personal issues, your psychological trauma, and you take it to heart. What they said to me, what they did to me. They abused me. They hurt me. Read that again.
Take no heaviness to heart.
God said don't take that ish to heart. Let it the hell go.
Drive it away.
You think you're the only one that ever suffered trauma? Get over yourself. Come out of your freaking pity party. Trust me, I know all about it. I laid in the bed under my covers and didn't want to get out the damn bed. Afraid to face my issues. Afraid to face my depression. But guess what you have to do? You have to be resilient. You have to seek out the Lord. You have to go before the Lord and pray about it. You have to face your trauma. You have to give those that have hurt you, and you have to come to leadership if you want the help. You think, oh, what they gonna think about me? Who gives a damn what we think about you? What God think about you? What the Bible say about you? Do you worry about what the doctor think about you? That Amalekite? Do you think about that Jewish doctor? What they think about you when you go tell them all your business? No, you don't care about that. But when it comes to, because we dark, we black, we come to your own people, you got an issue with it. But you tell all the other nations all your business. All right, you know what? If you want healing, we're present. We're here. Read. What verse is that?
Still verse 20.
Go ahead.
Drive it away and remember the last end.
Drive it away. Remember the last end. Go ahead.
Forget it not, for there is no turning again. Thou shalt not do him good, but hurt thyself.
Well, it's talking about those that have died. Those that died. Go ahead.
Verse 22.
Remember
my judgment, for thine also shall be so. Yesterday for me, and today for thee.
Right.
When the dead is at rest, let his remembrance rest, and be comforted for him when his spirit is departed from him.
Now, it's referring to someone that died, right? And you go into mental trauma because you can't get over it. I still go to my mama's grave and my daddy's grave because I can't get over them not being here. What the hell is wrong with you? You going to talk to the dead? That makes no sense. You go talk to somebody dead, but you want to talk to God. Mental trauma. You bugged out of your mind. God's the God of the living. He ain't the God of the dead. God is in that graveyard while you're going visiting your parents or your brother or your uncle or whoever the hell you're going to visit. God ain't there. Your mental trauma is there. You're at the graveyard talking to somebody that's dead, and you talk and you think they're gonna talk back to you. Craziness. Mental illness. Watch this. Give me let's go to environmental and social factors. I gotta move on. Environmental and social factors. Now, this will go into a lack of social support, feeling lonely, isolated, right? Isolation. So some of us, your husband left you, your wife left you. You feel discriminated against, and you don't know what to do with yourself. You feel lonely. You can't get over what someone did to you in your past. You're not the only one that your wife left. I was married for 13 years previously before my present wife. She died and left me with 2 kids. They were what, 2 and 4 years old? That was before the truth. You think that didn't cause trauma? How am I going to cope with no commandments and no leadership in the world by myself? Resilience. You got to freaking learn how to be resilient. That was without the commandments. Didn't know my left hand from my right hand. What the hell am I going to do? I got 2 kids. My wife died. Used to a covenant. Used to someone being there. Guess what? Y'all think y'all going through, y'all ain't the only one going through stuff. Y'all be surprised what brothers that went through. But it's woe is me. Woe is me. What am I going to do? No, it's not woe is you. Get out your damn pity party. Come to the leadership table. Go to your local leadership and talk about it. Trust me. It's probably very few things that you've experienced the way you've been through. Watch this. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 4. We're going to read 1 through 12. So, environmental and social factors. This is dealing with family, it's dealing with marriage, it's dealing with friendships, relationships. Right? And it's dealing with, it also goes into discrimination. Right? Poverty, unemployment, substance abuse. That's what we're dealing with now in environmental and social factors. So let's read that. Let's deal with the brothers and sisters that have mental health issues, a trauma, because their wives have left them, their sons have left them, their daughters have left them, their spouses have left them, their moms left them. Let's read about it. Let's see what God says about this. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter.
So guess what? A lot of you have tears rolling down your eyes. You're oppressed. You're afflicted. You're in your pity party. But yet, you have no comforter. In your mind, you don't have no comforter. The reason why you don't have a comforter is because you don't seek out your comforter. Your comforter is these scriptures. And we can give you these scriptures as doctors if you come find your comforter through counsel. Read.
And on the side of their oppressors, there was power.
On the side of our present social state, on the side of our present economic state, of our mental and social factors, our enemies have power over us. Read.
But they had no comforter.
But they had no comforter. Read.
Wherefore, I praise the dead which are already dead, more than the living which are yet alive.
He said, wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead. I praise the dead which are already dead, more than living. You know why? Because he saw, you know what? The people that are dead are at peace. The people that are alive are the ones that are oppressed. You can't oppress dead folks. They're resting. That's why he's saying that. Read.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Yea, better is he than both they, which have not yet been, who have not seen the evil work that is done under the sun.
So better are they that are resting than they that are not presently being oppressed and going through like a psychological trauma, right? Because a lot of our people in the world, and some of you in here, right, going through the psychological trauma, and you have not yet sought the comforter, which is the commandments. Read.
Again, I considered all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit.
Read.
The fool fold of his hands together and eat of his own flesh. Better is an handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit.
Go ahead.
Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun.
Uh-huh.
There was one alone.
There is one what?
There is one alone.
Some of you are alone. You're alone in your trauma. You're alone in your pain. You're alone in your suffering. You don't talk to nobody about what you're going through. Right? I can't talk to nobody. Obviously, you don't understand because my mama hurt me. My brother hurt me. My sister hurt me. My My family members hurt me. I'm alone because you don't want no stop. Stop your damn pity party. You're not the only one that's been through trauma. You're not the only one that's been through some shit. You're not the only one. Stop it. Read.
There is one alone,
Mhm.
and there is not a 2nd.
Mhm.
Yea, he have neither child nor brother. Yet is there no end of all his labor.
Read that again.
Yea, he have neither child nor brother.
Yea, he has neither child nor brother. Read.
Yet is there no end of all his labor.
Uh-huh.
Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither, said he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity. Yea, it is a sore travail.
Some of you work yourself to death rather than seeking counsel because that's your solution to your trauma. That's vanity. It's useless. Read.
Two are better than one.
It's better to be lonely.
Two are better than one.
God said two is better than one. You know what that means? Some of you are lonely in your own little lonesome little mind, in your own lonesome little heart, because you want to be all by yourself. Don't nobody to understand what I'm going through. And God said, some of you got marital issues, right? But you don't seek counsel about it because you know why? You said, me and my wife is good. I know the commandments. Me and my husband's good. We know the commandments. No, you're not good because you know the commandments. That don't mean that you need someone on the outside to look in to bring healing to whatever y'all dealing with. Read that again.
Two are better than one.
God said, don't be alone. Don't be alone in your trauma. Don't be alone in your circumstances. Don't be alone in your pain. Don't be alone in your depression. Depressed people are lonely people. You go through a circumstance, and guess what? You want to hide from the world. I've been there. Want to hide from everybody. Don't want to deal with nobody. I just want to go by myself. I want to be alone, and I want to deal with my issues. I want to deal with. I can't come to the school and deal and talk to leadership because I got to deal with my personal problems. That's what you say. I got things I got to deal with. I can't talk to leadership because, I got to be right before I go to the school. And, before I go to the school, I got to deal with my own issues. No, you're lonely. You're depressed. You're oppressed. And you're psychologically stressed the hell out. And you need to get some help before it's too late. Don't be wanting, brother, until you walk around talking to yourself because you're mentally broke. Some people have mental breakdowns. They got all this ish going in their life and they mentally break down. Why? Because they're lonely. God said what? Two is better than one. Read.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
You see that? Read.
For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
So if you fall, if you got issues, guess what? Somebody can help you. Some of you have psychological trauma because you love being in your psychological trauma. You've psyched out yourself to think that it's normal to be traumatized mentally. I'm good, officer. I'm good. I don't need no one to help me. I'm good where I am because if I tell somebody, that means I gotta let the cat out the bag. If I tell somebody, what that means is now I gotta face my issues. Guess what? When I couldn't work for 3 years, I felt that small because I was dependent on majority of my wife's income. You think that didn't bring about depression? Damn right, because I'm a man. So what I had to face it. I say, look, sister, I ain't no damn bum. It's like, you know what, my lord, I sure know, like, and sometimes I felt a certain kind of way. Why? Because my wife had to help me in ways I never thought she had to help me. She had to support me in ways I never thought possible. And what does that mean? It means I had to come out of my ability to be this man that didn't need help. I had to come out of that ability. Guess what? As a helpmate, she had to step up to do her job. So some of you got things that you're going through and you don't talk about it because you think I don't want nobody to know my business. Guess what? I had to talk to somebody about my business. I talk to leadership about it. I counsel about it. I say, look, this is what it is. I saw counsel. And you know what? As a result, I begin to heal. You can heal by yourself. If you can heal by yourself, there would not be a such thing as a doctor. Some of you have psyched yourself out to the point to where you think that you're good. You're not. Go ahead, officer.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up.
Woe unto him that fall. Woe unto him that fall, because guess what? You'll fall because you're alone and you don't have no one to help you. Your trauma that you're going through it's excuse me. Your trauma you're going through can be dealt with, but you gotta want the help. And you know what? Honestly, what I've seen people do, they're so psyched out in their own minds. They're so comfortable in their trauma to where they think if they get help, that they're doing the opposite of what they think that healing is. They think if I stay in my mental state, I'll be good. I can self-heal. How the hell can you self-heal without help? It don't make sense. That's why doctors are important. Some of us, we think like that. If I stay in my present condition, it'll just go away. Right? You use trauma to heal trauma. It makes no sense. Go ahead. What verse is that?
Now we're about to go to verse 11.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone?
How can one be comforted alone? To be warm is to be comforted. Right? If you're warm, you're comforted. God said you can't be comforted by yourself. You need the scriptures as a comforter through the prophets. You need healing. So God is telling you, you depressed folks amongst us, you psychological people that got issues amongst us, guess what? God said that you're depressed and oppressed and have trauma because you haven't dealt with your issues. Go ahead.
And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
You can't quickly, easily break. Read that again. A what?
A threefold cord is not quickly broken.
So guess what? With a support system, you're not going to be mentally broken anymore. That's what God is telling you. You got to have a support system. When I went through my issues, guess what? I had a support system. Yeah, I went to the doctors. Yeah, I saw counsel with my leadership first and foremost. Right? And guess what? I had to learn how to develop a mental strength to be able to cope with the things that I was dealing with. See, things that you go through are not meant to break you. They're meant to make you. They're meant to make you stronger. Watch this. I didn't get through none of my videos, bro. Y'all all right? All right. Am I out of time? Almost, right? All right. Watch this. Give me what I want. Give me the Jeremiah 33 and 6. I can't believe how fast the hour and a half go.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 33, and verse 6. Behold, I will bring it health and cure.
I will do what?
I will bring it health and cure.
God said, I will bring in health. Oh, hold on. Let me get it, bro. I need to look at it. You know I'm slow. Hold on.
Yep.
33 and 6. Go ahead.
Behold, I will bring it health and cure, and I will cure them and reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth.
God said, I will cure. I will cure them. I will reveal unto them the abundance of peace. A lot of you lack the abundance of peace because you have not allowed God to bring you the cure. That's the problem. In order to be healed, you have to want the cure. Because sometimes a lot of you don't want to come to us for counsel because you know we're going to ask you a lot of questions. I'm nosy. You come to me for counsel, I ask a lot of questions. You know why? Because I want to make sure I give you the right medicine. I'm not going to do my job as a prophet. I'm held accountable to the Lord, before the Lord. So I'm going to ask a lot of questions. A lot of you know how we roll. You come to me with counsel. Guess what? What about this and this and this and this and this and this? You're like, well, damn, like I don't know my business. Well, you want the help? I can't just. There's no magic scripture that's going to just heal you in 5 minutes. A lot of you got trauma, but it's coming from issues, and we got to know what the issues are so we know what medicine to give you. Read that again.
Behold, I will bring it health and cure, and I will cure them, and reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth.
God's desire is to give you abundance of peace. His desire is to cure you. How can you sit in God's house without the knowledge and healing power that the prophets have, and you're still dealing with the same issues? It makes no sense. When you go to the doctor, when you go to the secular doctor out in the world, they say, look, they told me I had the flu. What was that? Was it early during the month? I had the flu. 104 temperature for 4 days. I called medical. I was like, man, get your old ass to the doctor, bro. You got 104 temperature. You ain't no young man. I'm like, bro, I ain't going to no damn doctor. Boy, get to the doctor. Like, you know what? Let me go to the doctor. And guess what? I had the flu. See? At 25 years old that I am, I don't heal like I used to. Why y'all laughing at me? Wow. Really? Thank you for that laughter because I need healing. Yeah, all praises. Wow. They laugh. They laughing at me, bro. But you know what? No. At 53 years old, right, I don't heal the way I used to heal. I heal differently now. Right? Like when I first came into the truth, how old was I? It's been what? Damn, I forgot how old was I when I came into the truth. It's been what, 14 years? I can't count. I was 39. Yeah, I was 39. Yep, because that's when I was diagnosed with the asthma at 39 years old. 39 years old, right? So now that I'm older and now that I have things that I deal with, I don't just let things slide by anymore, right? I got to deal with it quickly. So when I went to the doctor because I had the flu, they gave me medicine. What did I do? I took the medication. And guess what? As a result of taking the medication, it didn't happen overnight. It took time. I began to gradually heal. That's the same way your brothers and sisters have to do. You're expecting to come leadership table. We'll give you a couple of scriptures. You're going to leave here skipping and you're going to be healed from your affliction. No, it don't work like that. Right? You got to believe. You got to have faith. You got to come forward, talk about your issues, and we give you the healing medicine so you can become better. All right, watch this. Give me Exodus 15 and 26. We're going to wrap it up here shortly.
The book of Exodus, chapter 15 and verse 26. And said, if thou would diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God.
And some of you, you're not diligent in your healing. You're not diligent in your counsel. Right? And some of you sisters, you married sisters, let me tell you something. There is no healing for you outside of your husband. You cannot go outside of him for healing. It's not going to happen. Some sisters get mad at their husband. I want you to watch videos and get my healing. You simple as hell. You got to, that's your Lord. Single sisters, guess what, sisters? You want healing from God, you cannot get it without coming to the prophets. It's impossible. God always brought healing to the nation through its prophets. You're not going to heal any other way. It doesn't matter if you don't like us. Some of you may not like the way I look. Right? He don't have enough hair on his head. Right? He too tall. He too skinny. I don't like the way he's too rough. Well, guess what? Nathaniel is soft, He can counsel with you too. I'm just joking, bro. Just joking. But no, I mean, if you want healing, you got to come get it. Right? Read that again.
And said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God.
You got to be diligent in your seeking counsel. You got to work hard at it. You got to make sure you're coming consistently. Read.
And will do that which is right in his sight.
And if you do that which the prophets give to you concerning counsel, read.
and won't give ear to his commandments,
You listen to the medicine that we're giving you and you apply it. Read.
and keep all his statutes,
You do what we're telling you to do. You take the medicine we're giving you. You apply what we're telling you. Read.
I will put none of these diseases upon thee.
Those mental illness that afflict you, God said, I'll heal you from it. It won't be there. That's what it's telling you. So all your healing is going to come through the prophets, through the commandments. There's no other way. Read.
Which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee.
I am the Lord that healeth thee. How does he heal you? Through the law. He cures you through the law. He heals your mental trauma. And guess what? Some brothers and sisters come to us we can't help. Right? Guess what we tell you? Excuse me. Go to the doctor. If you need medication, take your medication. If you need psychological meds, take psychological medication. That's just what it is. Right? Because remember, God said that he gives you the physician for healing. Right? Honor the physician. Respect the physician. So if the doctor say take your medication, this is what you need to take, guess what? We're never going to take you, oh, you know what, put that medication down, don't worry about it. Just eat the scripture. So if the test some pages out in true, no. No, that's not how it works. It's not going to happen. Some of us, guess what? The medication in today's society, y'all, is God's mercy for us. Don't neglect the medication. That's mercy. We're at the mercy of God through this enemy is ruling over us. Guess what? When I had the asthma attack, guess what? When I first was diagnosed with asthma, I stopped, I dropped my wife off at work, I pulled up, I short of breath. I'm dizzy, I'm like, what the hell wrong with me? I got the devil on me. I pulled over to a clinic that I saw, I'm like, it was like, oh shit, they put me on the machine, right? They put some albuterol in my nose, I was like, so you got asthma. I'm like, what the I start cussing. How the hell I'm gonna have asthma at 39 freaking years old? Well, sir, you got it. Here's some albuterol. Go to Walgreens and get your prescription. What the hell is this? But guess what that means? What that means is that some of you are going to have to take the white man's medication to heal. That's just what it is. It's mercy. When my son had asthma attacks, guess what? Without that mercy from the Lord, that medication, one time he was had took his medication. He on the couch with his lips blue. Lips are blue. Couldn't breathe. Eyes rolling back in his head. I'm like, oh shit, Lord, I think you're about to take him home. I'm giving him mouth to mouth. Lips blue, eyes is rolling back. Like he either got the devil on him, he about to leave. One of them, though, I don't know, but I'm trying to help him. I'm sending up prayers for him, giving him mouth to mouth and performing CPR. And when the ambulance got there, it was an experience. It was a traumatic experience because when the ambulance got there, I forgot they was in the room. I'm still giving mouth to mouth, giving resuscitations. They was like, sir, get out the way, get out the way. I said, no, he can't breathe. Like, sir, we're here, get out the way. I'm like, oh, I got it at the doctor then now because I can't do what they can do. So guess what that means? It means you have to take the white man's medicine. And guess what? They give him medications, and guess what? Now his symptoms is, sometimes he have issues, but guess what? Sometimes, he got issues, and he got to take his medication. So what am I telling you? You're not the only one that go through ish in its damn last days. Get over yourself. Stop it. Quit tripping. And why do we go through these things? So we can help you go through what you're going through. I'm not sitting up here because I just look cool. You know what I'm saying? Some of you like, you ain't cool, nigga. I'm not just here for no reason, y'all. We here and we go through what we go through to help you go through what you're going through. As Christ helped us, now as prophets, and we go through experiences, guess what? Now we can help you. All right? Watch this. What was the last scripture?
It was Exodus 16.
I was talking too much. All right. Jeremiah 30 and 17.
Jeremiah 17?
No.
You said where?
Jeremiah 30.
30.
And I was talking fast, bro. My bad. Jeremiah 30 and verse 17.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds.
God say, I will restore health unto thee. That's what that means. You can't be alone by yourself, depressed, under your covers, psych the hell out, smoking weed and watching porn or whatever the hell you're doing. You can't get a healing like that. God said what? Read it again.
For I will restore health unto thee.
I will restore your mental health unto thee. Read.
And I will heal thee of thy wounds.
I will heal you of all your mental wounds. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord. Because they called thee an outcast.
Guess what? In your mental illness, I say, you know what? They crazy. Think about this. Think about this. If you come forward and say, look, I got issues in my life. I got mental, psychotic stuff going on. In your mind, you're going to be like, I'm an outcast. What they going to think about me, man? If I told them what I'm really going through, if I actually told them the actual truth and not fake it anymore, guess what? I may be an outcast. Read that again.
Because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after.
Don't no man have no desire to help us. We got to help each other. Don't nobody come to us and say, hey, we're going to give y'all free mental health checkup so we can give you a clinical issues. We can help your clinical issues. No one come to us like that. They don't give a damn. No one cares. So what do? We have to learn to care for each other, right? So your brother and sister that got mental issues, or you got traumatic stuff you experience in your life. Guess what that means? That means you can no longer be alone because your king desires to cure or to heal you through the commandments, through the prophets. But guess what? Some of you coming to us again, I'm reiterating, and you said, I have issues and I take psychological medication. We say what? Keep taking it. One of the requirements, if you're taking psychological meds, let us know. Because we require, if you're taking medication, guess what? We're not going to tell you not to come, but you have to be on your medication. Some of us need it. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And no, I don't take psychological medication. Right? Watch this. Give me, man, what I want. Give me, give me Psalms 94 and 17.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94, verse 17.
We're going to read the verse 23. Man, I didn't get to none of my videos. Man, I had like 4 more videos, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence.
Unless what?
Unless the Lord had been my help.
Unless the Lord had been my help, y'all. Only the Lord can help us. Your trauma, what you're going through. Guess what? When I went through what I went through, only the Lord can help me. I had to come out of my mind what people going to think about me. How they going to feel. Guess what? You got to develop a mental strength. And you got to be able to go forward and be resilient and go forward. You know what? Yes, I got these issues. Yes, I'm dealing with this, but you know what? I got to go talk about it. Because if you don't talk about it with somebody, you're not going to get the healing that you need. Now I ain't talking about with anybody in the congregation. I'm on leadership. Go ahead.
My soul had almost dwelt in silence.
My soul almost dwelt in silence. Meaning what? If you're alone, if you're home alone and you're silent and you're quiet in all your oppression and depression and you're full of anxiety and the walls are caving in on you, guess what? I've been there and done that. Right? Sometimes you're under the covers and you're hiding from the world. Sometimes getting out of the house and facing, I'm not going to say sometimes. The only key and solution is get out of the house. Because I don't know, we want to be trapped inside those 4 walls. You got to escape the 4 walls, get outdoors, exercise, eat healthy, seek counsel, and help. You got to learn how to help yourself. Some of you come to us for counsel and you haven't done nothing to help yourself. Nothing at all. And think about it. If you have mental issues and you're depressed, what that means is that you got to find a way out of your depression. Find something to do. Rather than eating and becoming fat or lord back, guess what you can do? You can walk. You can go walk to the park, listen to the birds, and look at the lake. But I'd rather stay under my cover and watch TV and just eat. It's more comforting because I can be alone by myself in my sorrows. Well, you're going to die obese. You're going to die with mental issues. You're going to end up in a crazy institution. Mental illness is not a joke. I've seen it in my family. I've seen it in my wife's family. I've seen it in many people that I've known. Mental illness is a real deal, and we all suffer with that because of slavery. Watch this. Go ahead.
Verse 18.
Uh-huh.
When I said, my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Lord, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me.
And guess what? Y'all see the most, y'all, I'm sure all y'all I got them crazy folks in your family. Right? I've seen people talking to themselves. Like, it was somebody in the family, right? And my dad's side, and he was like, bro, well, actually, it was one of my dad's friends. He walked into the house talking to her. You just cut that motherfucker, son of a bitch, I'm gonna kick your motherfucker. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, bro. And well, who you talking to? I ain't talking to no goddamn body. Like, you know what? I gotta go. Gotta go, bro. Right? It was actually one of my dad's friends came over to the house. Like, Dad, it's brother cheated and said that was crack. What the hell is wrong with him? Mental illness, trauma, things they've experienced from a child, sexual and physical, and mental abuse, drug abuse, right? Hit the streets, and homosexuality, promiscuity, that'll catch up to you. Telling you. Y'all gotta run from that crap. Go ahead.
In the multitude of my thoughts within me.
What verse is that?
Verse 19.
Read verse 18 again.
Verse 18.
Uh-huh.
When I said, my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Lord, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul.
Read that again.
In the multitude of my thoughts within me.
In the multitude of my thoughts within me. Uh-huh.
Thy comforts delight my soul.
You see what that means? See what God's saying? In the multitude of your mental depression, in the multitude of your mental psychological trauma, God said he desires to comfort your soul. Read.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
And guess what that means? That goes also into Esau's social engineer stress and trauma for us. You got work, you got family, you got stuff to do for the truth, you got health issues, you have financial issues, you have all this stuff going on in your life. Overwhelmed. Read that again.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
This is why it engineers stress. If you look at the history of America, America engineers stress for the sake of the people they have in captivity. It's part of the curses. Work engineers stress. Society engineers stress. Read.
They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous.
They gather themselves together against us as God's righteous. Read.
And condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense.
The Lord is our defense, y'all. Read.
And my God is the rock of my refuge.
He is a rock of our refuge, right? That's where we go for comfort. That's where we go for our healing. Read.
And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness.
See, that's healing right there. We got to know how to get into these scriptures and understand what healing is. Read.
Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off.
Mm-hmm. What verse is that? 14?
That was 23.
23, I'm sorry.
Yep. All
right, watch this. I got to pull, you know what? I'm going to do a video and one more scripture, and I got to stop. Give me Sirach 40 really quick. Sirach 40 and 1. And then, yeah. Sirach 40 and 1.
The book of Sirach, chapter 41, verse 1.
No, 40 and 1.
Oh, 40. 40.
Yes, sir.
The book of Sirach, chapter 40, verse 1. Great travail is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam.
Every one of us was born to be afflicted because of our past sins, y'all. That's just the way it go. We got to get over it and we got to get through it. Go ahead.
From the day that they go out of their mother's womb.
From the day we born.
Till the day that they return to the mother of
From
all
the moment
things.
we die. So from the time we're born to the time we die, we're going to have issues. So don't be up in God's house thinking I'm the only one with issues when the Bible just told you we're all going to have them. Read.
Their imagination of things to come and the day of death trouble their thoughts and cause fear of heart.
Okay, let's stop that. Don't allow your thoughts to cause you fear. Sometimes we get caught in our own minds, and our minds overwhelm us because we get stuck in our own mental state. Don't let that happen. That's why Scripture said two better than one. Don't trust your own thoughts. Seek counsel about your thoughts. I don't trust my thoughts. They're wicked. That's why we got counsel, we got scriptures. Watch this. Give me that fourth video really quick. The fourth video.
I believe is the question most people look at sooner or later. Is question of my life, of course, which I believe is the question most people look at sooner or later, is what is the point actually? What is the point of life?
Stop. Pause. What? A lot of us wake up and we live our day, and even in these commandments, and we're trying to figure out what is my purpose within the nation of Israel? Why am I here? What am I doing here? We got to understand a big part of our healing of mental oppression is our identity. Knowing who you are, where you come from, and restoring the traditions and the customs. Right now we're going through Passover. This is part of a healing process. You know why? Because our customs and traditions were taken away from us. So as we learn them, we practice them, guess what? That's a form of healing. Go play the video. Go ahead.
By surprise, I was told that the point of life had nothing to do with anything that I was doing. It wasn't about my job. It wasn't about my career.
You see that? Your life, family, ain't about your job. Ain't about college. Ain't about your career. Ain't about your house. Ain't about your job. A lot of us got mental afflictions like that because we allow materialistic things to overwhelm us, and we become psychologically oppressed, and as a result, we have mental issues. Your job, work, my car. Guess what? If you wouldn't keep buying new cars and new houses, you wouldn't have so much debt. We bring these things upon ourselves, and then we have financial struggles, and we wonder why. Oh, my cars are old, and I borrow for them, and I just fix them up as I go. Right? I pour money into the engines, and I just restore them. That's just what it is. I don't know damn car note. The hell is this? Watch this. Go ahead.
It wasn't about hardly anything in my physical life. Those were aspects of my life, but they were not the point of my life.
You see, there are aspects of it, but the point of life is not material things. The point of life is your nationality. The point of life is serving God. The point of life is living this life, and when you die, you can make the kingdom of heaven. Restoring nationality is a great part of our healing process, right? Go ahead.
The point of my life, as I have come to understand it, was for me to experience, express, demonstrate, and fulfill my true identity.
Boom! Stop it. Even a white man know. His purpose is to know his identity. And he has one. We don't. The restoration of our mental state is all about knowing our identity. Give me that in 1 Kings 8. Last scripture.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 47. Yet, if they shall bethink themselves,
if you will remember, read,
in the land whither they were carried captives, and repent.
Right now, it's America. God said, if you will remember why you have mental trauma, if you will remember why you're afflicted with pain and suffering, read,
and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captives, saying, we have sinned and have done perversely. We have committed wickedness. And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul in the land of their enemies, which had them away captive, and pray unto toward their land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen, and the house which I have built for thy name.
You see what God's asking us to do? Repentance is a healing process, right? So when you heal, when you repent, you heal. All right, family? All right, so I pray that you brothers and sisters got something out of this class, and I pray that you received what you needed, and if you need more of what you heard tonight, you got to come see counsel about it. All right, family? With that, I say shalom, most high in Christ bless. Stay in the spirit and get some help.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, His word